Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. I've been busy focusing on my health and well-being as of late. During this time, I had an interesting experience. I felt a strong urge to invoke Zhuge Liang and ask for his advice to see what my next move should be. This was at the start of 2020. Kongming gave me clear instructions to acquire a new talisman, more specifically a new feather fan that would be useful for healing and would symbolize the start of a whole new era and chapter of my life. My natural instincts were to buy the fan like I always have done before, either find one that I like or have one commissioned to my specifications. This is what I've always done in the past, but I was told not this time. I asked Kongming what he meant, and he told me I had to craft the fan myself, and the whole creation process had to come from me. Nobody else was to be involved in the work. Now, when it comes to Kongming fans, I dare say I am an expert. They have been a massive part of my daily life since 2007, and I know them exceedingly well, better than anybody else. However, making one has never been my strong suit. I had attempted to make a fan years ago, and it just didn't feel right. This is it right here. Nice looking, but it felt dormant, for lack of a better word. Sure, it came from me, but it didn't have the same epic energy that, say, my white fan has, which I bought from China Cart. This one has some serious power to it. Probably because I've used it daily since 2014. But you don't have to be an expert to know that crafting and making your own ritual tools is a sacred process. And when you've made something unique by using your own hands and imagination, that right there is magic itself, even with all the little imperfections, because it's coming straight from you. But even though I was making it, I was not doing it alone. I had divine guidance from Zhuge Liang. He is the originator and true master of these fans, so his guidance is priceless to me. Pretty soon I was in a full-blown invocation with him, and I began to see the outline of what the fan would look like. I focused on its shape and paid attention to the directions he was giving me. At first the visions were rather vague and blurry, but the deeper I got into trance state, the more clear and vivid the visions became. Do you ever get so deep in a trance you start to wonder if you're going too far out there? Well, that's exactly how I felt. For the first time in many months, I was completely in a state of flow. And that's exactly where you should be when making talismans. It's where I get all of my greatest ideas. In this wonderful place, I saw a different kind of talisman. Not your typical Kongming fan. Something more unique and unusual. I saw what looked like a hybrid between a traditional Chinese fan and a Native American fan, both of which I think look great. What surprised me the most during the creation was how easy everything was. You know when you are doing something creative and you feel inspired, even if the work is tricky and time-consuming, it still feels easy and natural. That's how I felt whilst making this fan. Everything just came together so organically, and that's a sign you're on the right track. Remember the Taoist rule, the path of least resistance. During the process, I abstained from meat, alcohol, and any kind of drugs. I approached it from a clean perspective, and I also went on a 24-hour fast. All of the materials were sourced locally, and before work began, I would go into a meditation in my peach garden in what I refer to as my power spot, which is basically an area of natural magical activity. So here is what I created whilst in that deep trance. This is exactly what I saw in my visions, so it's like I pulled it straight from the astral plane into physical existence. Creating the fan was only one aspect of its power. I then had to consecrate it by using Taoist methods, but before I could do that, I was instructed to infuse the energies of several different deities into the fan. Usually, I only imbue Kongming's qi into it, but this time I was advised to charge the item with the qi from the following entities: the 3 pure ones, the Jade Emperor, the 9 Star Lords of the Northern Dipper, Zuosa, Master Blackhorn, Lei Gong, the Duke or Lord of Thunder, and of course, most importantly, Zhuge Liang. So this is a pretty full party of various spirits. It took me 4 weeks to successfully saturate the fan with all of their energies. It's the most time-consuming work that I've ever done on a talisman, which also means it's my most powerful fan, and I don't say that lightly. The wooden handle came from a tree that had been struck by lightning. The feathers are wild turkey, duck, and pheasant, all ethically sourced. Each piece had been individually blessed and then collectively consecrated as a whole. Instead of using regular glue, I used animal or hide glue. This follows the principle that every material and ingredient originally came from a living animal. And if you've ever watched my major documentary on Kongming fans, you will know they are regarded as living, breathing beings. You might be looking at it thinking it's all complete, but it's not. Yes, the actual construction of the fan is finished, but there's a lot more behind the scenes empowerment that still needs to happen. What Taoists call spiritual or magical programming. This is when a sorcerer energetically programs their talisman. For example, Taoist weathermancers program their powerful rainstones so they only work for them and nobody else. And if someone attempts to steal said stone, terrible misfortune will fall upon the one who has stolen it. I'm programming my fan for 40 days and 40 nights, so it only works for me. Think of it like a weapon, a gun that is only unlocked by a fingerprint. Well, these fans are spiritual weapons and are capable of great destruction in the wrong hands. So I'm making sure this doesn't happen. It takes 25 minutes each day of programming to achieve the desired result. After I initially finished making it, it was quite late, so I went to bed, and I always place my fan on my bedroom dressing table next to the lamp. Well, I had some really wacky dreams that night. I dreamt that I was leading an army into battle, and the fan was being used as a tool to direct my troops. I was in a desert in a carriage being pulled by horses. I got the impression that a huge war was about to take place, and in the dream I was holding this fan. I'm not entirely sure what it could mean, but I thought it was worth mentioning. So thank you for watching. Let me know if you've made any of your own magical tools, and what were your experiences. I'd love to know. I know I have some very talented artists who watch me, so feel free to send some pictures of your talismans. I'll see you soon. Take care.